So let's have a look at basket weave stitch. Very similar to tent stitch and half cross stitch. They look exactly the same on the front, different things going on the back. So check those two videos out if you haven't seen them. So basket weave goes in a diagonal direction. So we're going to start at the top and we're going to work our way down. So it consists, like the other two stitches, of a diagonal stitch across the intersection of two threads. I'm going to come up away from my stitching and take my needle down into the hole that's shared with another stitch. That pushes the thread through the hole rather than pushing your needle up through it the other way. I'm going to start at the top here and work down towards my knot, covering the thread on the back. So I'm going to come up there across the diagonal. The needle shares the hole with the stitch of the previous row. And then I'm just going to work my way down. So this one kind of staggers. We go along a little bit, the two stitches that way and then one stitch down, and you'll see that pattern start to form. We're just going to do a diagonal row down towards the knot. So it looks the same in your rows. If you look at the horizontal rows, you get rows of the same diagonal stitch across the intersection, but we're working it this way instead. I'm just changing colour so you can see the pattern of this stitch, but it doesn't mean you have to work each row in a different colour. It's just so you can see what I'm doing. Now this stitch is really good if you want to cover large areas in this kind of a stitch. If you use a tent stitch or a half cross stitch, it does tend to distort the canvas a little bit if you're filling in a large area. This one is good for evening out the tension. So if you want to do a large area, this is the version of this stitch to do. And I'll just show you what the back looks like here, so you can see those diagonal stitches. This one is more the same on the back as it is on the front. You can see the diagonal stitches as you work your way down. Just get to the bottom and then I'll show you how to do the second row. Once you reach your knot, the thread on the back should be covered. Just check that it is first. I've got a couple missing at the end, so I'm just going to carry on that red row as if those ones were there. Like so. So to start your next row, you can actually work your way back up. So this is the only one of the three stitches where you can go back and forth and back and forth. The others you have to start in the same direction and keep going that way. But this one we can actually go back up the row and down the row. So that's another advantage of this stitch, is you can just go back and forth. Doesn't use up so much thread either because you're not travelling so far to get to your next stitch. So a good one if you're on a bit of a budget with your threads, and if you just want to go back and forth and for filling in large areas. So just get back to the top. So all three stitches look the same on the front, it's just those variations on the back. So like I said, don't forget to check out the other two just to see what the differences are and when to use which version of the stitch. There we go, there's the last stitch, and I can just weave that needle back underneath on the back to finish off the thread. So that's basket weave.